Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we are bringing you an in-depth review to Assetto Corsa Competizione. Although this game has recently launched on console, I am going to be taking a look at the PC edition and seeing how far it has come since its official 1.0 release over a year ago. If you are new to the game, Assetto Corsa Competizione is the successor to the hugely successful Assetto Corsa that was released in 2014. Competizione is, however, completely different to the game it shares its name with. It is a racing sim based primarily on the 2018 and 2019 Blancpain GT series, meaning that the game only features cars and tracks from that specific series. So if you aren't a fan of GT3 or GT4, I suggest looking elsewhere, but that is only a part of what makes up Competizione. Starting off with the audio and visuals. Simply put, they are stunning. This racing sim ranks in my top 3 of the best looking sims on the PC, although you will need some pretty beefy specs to take full advantage of the graphics. Full day and night cycles are also present, along with dynamic weather, making driving down the Kemmel Strait while the sun sets on the horizon one of the most immersive experiences I have had in a long time. And audio, if anything, is even better, and I would go as far as to say that it is my favourite sim in this department, even beating the likes of Race Room. You can hear every engine note, every flex of the chassis, and you can literally hear the change of environment around you. When it comes to the 42 cars and 15 tracks included, it doesn't make for the most extensive list, but when I tell you that these are some of the most detailed and accurate representations in sim racing, I don't mean that lightly. All the tracks are laser scanned to pinpoint accuracy, and each individual car is modelled with the help of real GT3 and GT4 drivers to ensure the most realistic driving experience. Physics featured in the game are also on par with some of the top simulators out there, but when it comes to force feedback, here is where one of my first gripes with the game arise. Whilst the force feedback is by no means bad, it lacks the same level of detail provided by the first Assetto Corsa. Like many other reviewers have mentioned, it's hard to drive on the limit as the feeling of the car is somewhat dampened by the force feedback. While this does get better with higher end wheels, the vast majority of sim racers don't have the budget for those wheels. AI in this game are decent and are fun and engaging to battle. They fight for positions, defend, and are on the same physics model as the player, which makes them much more enticing. In single player mode, you can do extremely short 5-minute races all the way up to 24-hour endurance races, and a range of other game modes unique to this title. While the AI is decent, I do wish that their spatial awareness of the player could be refined, as sometimes I find AI making contact once I have made a pass and am clearly ahead, even with the aggressiveness turned down. This can be incredibly frustrating if you are conscious about your safety rating. There is an option to turn off ratings in single player mode, although hot lap times are not recorded and ratings for single player mode must be enabled to submit entries onto the leaderboard for special events. Speaking of ratings, multiplayer mode is also implemented differently to most other racing games. Before the release of the game, the multiplayer mode was hyped up to challenge iRacing, and while it doesn't quite do that, it's a very useful method that I think is still superior to the previous Assetto Corsa and other games like Project Cars and R-Factor. This is done by the aforementioned ratings, the most important one being safety rating, which compares your trust to the amount of contact you make. When there is contact, it increases your OBWP, which stands for Online Behavior Warning Points. The higher your trust to OBWP ratio is, the higher your safety rating will be. Trust is gained by driving within 0.3 seconds of another driver without making contact. Most online servers have a safety rating cap, which means that if you don't have the required safety rating, you won't be able to join the server. This encourages safe racing. There are also other ratings that track different important skills, such as consistency, car control, racecraft, and pace. These ratings will all accumulate to one main score. This score determines what rank you become. You also get a sticker to display on the back of your car to represent what rank you are. While other offline elements such as career are okay at best, they are lacking compared to other games that have an in-depth career, such as the F1 games. There is also a special event section that gets updated monthly, where you can do certain challenges and get ranked against other players. This will increase your pace rating. Something that I do feel is an issue, however, is the optimization on the VR front. I am primarily a VR racer and have a decent computer with an RX 5700 XT and an i7 8700K processor, yet I still had to turn the settings down considerably to get a playable frame rate. Optimization has improved since release, but I still feel there is a lot to be desired here. When Assetto Corsa Competizione first launched on May 29th, it was littered with bugs, had lacking content, and multiplayer was a mess. 1 year later, after many updates and fixes, the game is almost unrecognizable to the disappointing mess it was on release. The developers have been working tirelessly, and their dedication amazes me. They are willing to take criticism constructively and take advice from real drivers. They are addressing every problem with every update at incredible speeds, and people's complaint lists are slowly shrinking. As a fan of GT racing, this game provides a superb experience that leaves me not wishing for more content or immediate fixes, except on the VR front. I think we still have a lot to come from Assetto Corsa Competizione, and it's a solid buy if you like GT racing.